Hey y'all, I'm Randi White, and this is I'm Running with Randi White. Every week, we're taking a real, raw, and refreshingly honest look at what it's like to run for Congress in Maryland's 1st District. From kitchen tables to campaign trails, I'm bringing you with me every step of the way. This is our campaign. We're bringing empathy back to DC by rebuilding our community in Maryland 1. And to get on board, make sure you follow us at all our socials at Randi for MD. Remember, that's Randi with an I, and Randi for MD.com. Let's get into it for this week's episode. Hi friends, I'm so glad you're here. This is the very first episode of I'm Running with Randi White. This podcast is part behind the scenes, part real talk, part organizing tool, and all heart. This is where I get to share what it's really like to run for office, the highs, the lows, the lessons, and the love that drives it. There was so much hullabaloo after the 2024 election about how the messaging was wrong. And to be honest, it wasn't the messaging, but as a member of someone who's been in media for 20 years, there's a problem with the Fourth Estate. So I thought, I'm running for Congress. I don't want my words messed up. I'm a media professional. So here we go. We now have a companion to a campaign that gives you everything. If it's not on this podcast, it's not real. So let's start with the basics. My name is Randi White, proudly born and raised on the Eastern Shore. What up, Barry? A mom, a former radio and television personality, a voiceover artist, a marketer, and now a candidate for U.S. Congress in Maryland's 1st District. Now, I'm running because I believe we deserve better leadership, better access to opportunity, better representation. And I believe that change happens when everyday people like you and I decide that enough is enough. And I don't know if you know it yet, but enough has been enough for a while when it comes to Maryland 1. So what inspired me to run? My grandmother will always be my first inspiration and continued inspiration. She helped build my foundation of knowledge and details of politics and policy. From her, I learned what I tell you every single day. Apathy is far too expensive for any of us to be able to afford. People have a desire to be heard and understood, and I'm no different. I've never been any different. She inspired me to ask questions, to respectfully question authority, but to always be on the verge of knowledge. No matter what industry I've worked in, my goal has always been to make people's lives better, no matter how big or small, no matter for how short or long. This is the most direct way to make a difference in people's lives. In Congress, in legislation. Some politicians are out for self and they don't take advantage to do that, but it's my life's passion to do that, making lives better. Also, my people here in Maryland 1, the ones that I call family and friends, the ones that I don't know personally. It's the stories I've heard, the neighbors I've met, the communities that are too often forgotten. It's my sons and wanting them to inherit a world that's just, more joyful and equitable. One of my favorite songs is by Gym Class Heroes, and it's called Peace Sign Index Down. And there's a line from Busta Rhymes. He's featured on the track. And just this line I've lived through for years. I'm stubborn with the thought that failure is never an option. And that describes me to a T. Honestly. So make sure you listen to that on whatever streaming platform you're listening to me on now, because it's a fun song, especially if you're a millennial. But I'm stubborn with the thought that if we rebuild community, we can rebuild everything else. If we start caring about one another again, from fishers to farmers, the babies to the elders, the children to the childless, we can take care of each other in real tangible ways. We're going to talk about all of that in the weeks ahead, I promise you. Also, every Tuesday on socials, you'll learn something new about me in our Meet Randi segments. I do that, I get all gussied up and get on video, and I go on your social media and just talk to you. It's just me. You'll like me, I promise. Follow at Randi for MD, again, Randi with an I, FORMD. This week, though, this episode is about kicking things off and giving you a sense of what to expect. So let's keep things moving. All right. So on Thursday, July 10th, I pulled the trigger and said, hey, y'all, I'm running for Congress. I'm going to share with you that was the most stressful day of my life. Without a doubt, I've had 2 C-sections, and this was without a doubt the day that I was most nervous, and I literally pulled the plug. I scheduled everything to go off at 9 a.m. and closed my computer and spent the rest of the day in bed with my boys watching Disney movies. Admittedly, I puked a couple times. I've never been a person who's ever been nervous. I've been on stage in front of 20,000 people and forced to entertain them for a few minutes. And that... a breeze. Putting it out there and saying, I'm going to do this work for you is a little nerve-wracking because it's like, I can't take it back. I've always wanted you to know that I'm here for you, that I'm totally going to be someone that leads with empathy, that I'm totally going to be someone who's going to make DC better. This is a lifelong dream, and I follow through. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And the love that I've received, the support I've received, the money I've received has been phenomenal. So I thank you already. Just thank you already. Soft launch happened on Thursday, July 10th. So what's going on now? Well, we're in the middle of that soft launch still. We spent most of the week kind of setting up how we're doing this campaign. I told you from Jump Street, this is our campaign. I believe empathy is the reason that chaos and things are falling apart. And the only way we get back to everything being just even a smidge better is to rebuild our community. And it starts here in Maryland 1, and it starts with us. This campaign is completely grassroots. There's been a lot of people that use that phrase, and it makes me cringe. But this is really coming from us, the people. This isn't self-funded. It's not a hedge fund operation. I don't have mommy and daddy in my court to pay for it all. This is us. It really is. So we're in the middle of a soft launch, and that means we're starting to move, to organize, to build. We're talking to people, we're asking questions, and showing up. And we're doing it all before the big splash later this year. The most exciting part of this soft launch, the listening tour. You like the name of it? Seriously though, this isn't a me on a stage acting politician-y talking tour. It's about you. And I'm listening. I want to hear from you. I want to meet people where they are in every corner of this district, from Crisfield to Middle River, Perryman to Pocomoke, White Marsh to Whaleyville, all you state line sitters from Marydale to Mardella to Delmar. And of course, my hometown, can't forget about Salisbury, Maryland, right? I want to know what matters to you. And from that, we can create a strong platform together. I really mean that this is our campaign. Let me tell you what's already rising to the top. These are the 3 issues I hold dear to my heart. We'll start with healthcare. People are struggling to afford basic care. Prescription prices are going back up. Mental health support is still out of reach for so many, and I believe healthcare is a human right. We're here. We got to be taken care of, and we can do better. Prices and insurance are a big focus to everyone. I'd also like to bring focus to the care part of healthcare. Things like, making sure we protect the rural hospitals and getting more providers in our district. There's a lot that we can do. Education is massive to me. Now, I'm a child of an educator. Our public schools need real investment. Our teachers need real support. We need to pay them what they're owed and provide supplies so that they can teach our children properly, right? And teach them for the subject matter, for the learning, and not to test. Our students need to be seen. They need to be heard and set up to succeed, from universal pre-K without waiting lists, y'all, to career pathways beyond college. We really need to invest in literacy because the children were indeed left behind by W, y'all. And we can't do the same things to the babies that are in school now. And don't we all want safe schools and not have to think about how terrifying it is for our children to go through active shooter drills when they should be, reading, playing Foursquare out in the playground and, kid stuff. Also, the cost of living. Everything is expensive. Housing, food, childcare. People are doing everything, quote unquote, right, and still falling behind, from the people with the families to single folks to people caring for their families and friends, the caregivers. This isn't just unfair, y'all. It's unsustainable. And this is the one thing I want to point out for those of us here in Maryland 1. I talked about it last week with Medicaid. Yeah, sure, you may not be on it. Maybe you're not struggling now or anything else. But when one of us has a tough time, we all have a tough time. It's important to remember that. It's important to bring empathy into that, because we are all one paycheck, one diagnosis, right? One job loss away. You know what I mean? That's why we want to make sure we're taken care of. And not only is it just a personal thought, our infrastructure cannot survive with everything being so unreachable for everybody. We need federal solutions that bring relief to those of us living here in Maryland 1, from living wages to protections for farmers and workers, plus investments in even the smallest of our towns. The smallest investments can make the biggest changes. We cannot fall into the lies that people are lazy when what they really are is locked out. Our economy should work for all of us. And that's why I keep saying all of us for all of us. Can I repeat that again? Our economy should work for all of us, and not just the billionaires that Andy Harris is getting paid from. That is shade. Just want that notated right there. Now, these are just the start. In the coming weeks, we'll go deep into each of these and more. So don't say that this is just the finality of it. We're going to get up close and personal with tons of topics, including the environment. Yes, go Chesapeake Bay. Yes, our swamplands and everything else. Veterans issues, broadband, Black maternal health, reproductive justice, economic development, and so many more. And every Wednesday on socials, I'll do a quick What's Going On Wednesday video to touch on a recent subject in the news in 2.5 minutes or less. And we know that's a challenge for me because what? I talk. Stay tuned as we break down topics, issues, platform, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get those broken down for you, take away misinformation, and I want everyone to tune into it because this is for everyone. All of us for all of us. I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, and I'm showing up for you already. So earlier in the pod, I told you about how I felt the day I launched this campaign on July 10th and how it was nerve-wracking because I'm so passionate about this call to do this, to be out there and to be a voice for the people who feel like they're voiceless, to do what's best for us here in Maryland 1 and for the people of the United States. There's so much chaos going on. And what I want to do is break it down. We got to stop for a second because the chaos is created to create what? Apathy. And apathy is what? Too expensive for any of us in Maryland 1 to afford at all. We have to care. So I introduced a lineup for my weeks to come. It keeps me very busy. I'm a mom of 2, but this is also, our campaign is also my child. And also I got an almost 13-year-old dog. So I'm constantly asking, did you go potty? Do you want to go potty throughout my house? Are you good? Have you gone potty lately? You might want to take that break. Keep listening though. I go with you in this chance. So on Tuesdays on your socials, you'll get a Meet Randi little video very quickly where you get to know about me. Every time I'm out on the streets, I am going to be learning about you and what's important to you, what you think that we should be tackling. It's not for me to start talking about myself and what I think. We'll get to that in about a few months. Then we launch What's Going On Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I'm going to take a news blurb, go on your social media platform, and try to break down the topic, get the misinformation out of the way, and do so in about 2.5 minutes or less. I'm going to try to do that in 2.5 minutes or less. And Thursday, I took a few days off because my little one had to have a procedure in the hospital and I needed that time. And every day I've been fielding emails and calls, and it's been a good start for sure. And I want to thank you. Again, I can't say thank you enough for getting involved so quickly. There will be a chance if you want to volunteer with the campaign. If you notice, the website is in its temporary landing page state. That's because your girl's building it from scratch. No, it's just, this is how we start in our soft launch. A bigger website with more information is on its way. So now we get to the point now, what's happening this week? This is a busy week. We're still heavy on socials. On Tuesday, we'll have another Meet Randi feature on @Randi4MD on all social platforms. If you're on Blue Sky, though, it's @Randi4MD.com. So just like the website. Submit your questions via socials. Or guess what? I got a phone number just for you to contact me on this campaign. It's 410-410-2619. 410-410-2619. And I'll answer one question every single week. I'll make it my focus every week. So give me some time. Also, I'll announce something special with our campaign that we will all love. Of course, Wednesday, we got another What's Going On Wednesday. We will tackle one news item and I'll break it down again, get the misinformation out of it, and get to the urgency of what's there. This Thursday, we introduce Community Spotlight Thursday to you. And if you have, even if it's a small business, a nonprofit, if you have a person, a leader, a change maker that should have the spotlight on them that no one ever talks about, I want to know. So make sure to hit me up. I think the DMs are open on socials @Randi4MD. You can email me, Randi4MD@gmail.com, or you can text me 410-410-2619, okay? And then on Friday, they're letting your girl out the bag. That's right. I am wanting to be your future congresswoman, and I've been kept inside for far too long. I'm coming outside with the people. That's right. I'll be in Salisbury for a public meet and greet at Rain Seafood at 5:30 Friday afternoon with the Wicomico County Democratic Central Committee. So if you're in the area, come say hey. I'd love to meet you. Follow us on all socials. I've repeated it a million times, but @Randi4MD, Randi with an I, on all platforms to stay up to date on events, announcements, and ways to get involved. And of course, Randi4MD.com is going to be updated as well. Oh, man, this feels so good to be able to have an outlet, to be able to speak with you, to be real with you, because this is our campaign. And to get back on the mic, I can't wait to be in person with you. I will be at a meet and greet this Friday, July 25th, 5:30 p.m. Rain Seafood, so in Salisbury. So let me know, or just go and I'll see you there. It's going to be exciting. To recap, here's what I believe deep in my bones. We rebuild our country by rebuilding our communities first. Right here in Maryland 1, we have the chance to do something powerful, to remind this nation what it looks like to lead with empathy, to care for one another, from our fishers to our farmers, from our babies to our elders, from our small business owners to the ones that work hourly, from those barely making ends meet to those working multiple jobs just to stay afloat, and to those unable to get a job right now in this economy. We do that by listening first, by showing up, and by making room at the table for folks who've been pushed aside for far too long. I promise you, I promise to represent your seat at the table. You hear me? That's the kind of campaign I'm running for us. One rooted in community, fueled by empathy, and built on truth. And not just my truth, but ours. So if you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or just plain fed up with being fed up, I'm there with you, and this is your campaign too. This is our chance to do politics differently, to bring real change to DC by taking care of each other right here in Maryland 1. All right, y'all. That's it for episode 1. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for listening. Thank you for believing, and thank you for joining me on this wild ride. We've got so much work to do. I am not even going to lie to you. It's a lot of work, but I promise I'm in this for us, for community, for compassion, for change. And I'll end every episode the way I've ended every episode in my radio career. Be and stay true to yourself and be the change this world needs. It's important that you remain authentic. It's important to know that you're enough. And don't let anybody try to take away who you are because it makes them uncomfortable. You understand? Take up space. Shout louder. Stand up for what's right. I'm with you. Can I repeat it again? Be and stay true to yourself and be the change this world needs. And if you're ready to start today, if you're ready to start being that change, especially for 2026, I would love it if you could donate $26 to our campaign at randyformd.com. I would love you forever. And I thank you in advance already. You're so great. I can't wait to do more with you. And all that we have planned, it's about to be a time, because not only are we going to make change by fixing legislation, we're going to have fun doing it, and we're going to learn so much, and we're going to care. I'm in it with you, for you. I'm Randi White, and I'm running for Congress, for Maryland 1, and for you.